Hello, I'm Jake Steiner. This is the first ever video that might make it on the site, and I'm honestly a bit nervous. I bought a bunch of gear that you can't see, but there's a fancy camera and a bunch of lighting. I'm sort of like the when you're 15 and you're on a first date. I want what we do to be really judged on its merit, not on presentation. And this has really been a challenge for me because I've spent so much time to understand eyesight and understand optometry and to understand how we can affect our eyesight health that it seems incredibly risky, really, to go to this video format where I can write and you have no way to look at my face and say, I like this guy, I don't like this guy. Jake doesn't have a turban, he can't be the guru. Versus if I'm making you read, you have to judge the contents. So for a long time, I really thought that a format like this would not be ideal for anything. I didn't even do web, but whenever I would look at things like that, I would think, it's not the best thing that makes it out there, it's the guy with the best equipment and the best voice and the best just appeal, right? But here we have it. Let me know your feedback. I'm really curious and, 15. But for today, I want to talk about optometry and the truth. Optometry and the truth. If you go to a McDonald's or the Gap or an H&M store, you're dealing with a brand, and you know you're dealing with a brand. You're going there because there's a set of expectations you have, and you know the place you're going to is going to meet those. If you want fast food and a certain flavor, you go to McDonald's and you know exactly what you'll get, no matter which McDonald's you go to anywhere in the world. What McDonald's would love to be able to do is have you believe that their burger is the truth, the only burger. Of course they can't, but optometry did. Now, if you think about optometry the way you would think about a McDonald's is, you can go to McDonald's anywhere in the world and it's the same experience. You go to any optometrist in the world, it's also the same experience. It's the same tools, it's the same exam environment, it's the same prescriptions, it's the same sales process, and this is true anywhere. I've been to optometrists all over the world, and you can go to one in Berlin or in Tokyo or in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, one of the poorest countries in the world. You go to an optometrist, and the equipment and the process is still the same. Right? And if you think about going anywhere in the world to McDonald's, same idea, it's a brand. And what I think people don't realize is optometry is no different from McDonald's in a whole lot of ways, because you walk in there and no matter who it is, where it is in the world, you have the same experience. You walk in, there's a 10-minute measuring session, an hour to cut your glasses, you walk out and your vision is fine. Right? It is the fast food brand of vision health. And it's monopolized. It's monopolized because medicine in general is monopolized. It's what the government okays is what can be talked about with a certain vocabulary. Right? So if you disagree, you still have to have done their format of schooling. Now you're risking having your license to practice revoked. But either which way, if you want to talk about health without having to be really careful about your choice of words, like I have to be here, very careful, you're very much limited to their system, right? And if you go to medical school and you spend a lot of time and a lot of money, and in the end, when you come out of there, the only way you can actually apply this is through board certifications and all the requirements, and you only have those as long as you do exactly what they say. And that's how optometry has become this very unified sort of thing. And if you read the site and you read the interviews with some of the optometrists that I talk to who aren't following this practice, they're threatened. They're threatened by the establishments, they're threatened by their peers, the risk of losing their license, they've paid a bunch of legal fees because it's like you open a McDonald's franchise and then one day you decide this food is crap. You can't sell other food at McDonald's because it is a brand. You know, optometry is a brand and you're allowed to prescribe maximum prescriptions and that's it. No other choices. The problem comes in when you deal with people like me because I'm a very, very, very tiny brand. And I'm swimming in a sea of other teeny tiny brands that are maybe less scrupulous, or maybe they have no idea what they're talking about. There are quite a few of those, and that's, again, the goal of the government is to limit any kind of healthcare to people who have been, as they consider it, properly educated and screened on an ongoing basis, right? So that is really ideal if optometry and the way they deal with vision health wasn't limited to the fast food equivalent of health. If it wasn't limited to, here are these prescriptions, and by the way, once you wear these prescriptions, your eyes will continue to get worse. You know, like if you only eat McDonald's, you will be fat and unhealthy. If you only go to the optometrist, your eyes will be crap. But there isn't a legitimate alternative. Like you cannot go, I've spent a lot of time on this, and depending on where you live, you might really have very few choices. You know, you can go online, and the web is full of bullshit. I mean, it ranges from people that have an idea that is fairly accurate and they're crazy, to just complete bullshit. So if you find me online, it's a really difficult thing for me because I can't go to optometry school, right? I mean, I go to optometry school if I want to practice optometry. Now I'm really bound by the rules, right? If you want to use a title, if you want to be IKEA, you have to sell IKEA furniture. If you're an optometrist, you have to say, yes, you need lots of prescription, right? If I say anything else, I'm already not an optometrist. The problem though is you trust optometrists because it's a huge brand, right? Like you know what to expect. And when you see Jake Steiner, you go, who is this guy, right? Who this guy is. That wasn't right. So it becomes one of those things where you have to take a personal journey and say, do I want to try this? Especially in light of the fact that most people that have ventured down this path have encountered a lot of stuff that doesn't work. I did. I've tried all the web things. I assume that there will be something out there that's valid, and there's some sort of decent books. But books are missing a lot of the bigger picture. You read the book, you get the right ideas, but your eyesight, you're not going to get back to it because there are lots of other things that will stop you. So there isn't really a place you can turn to that is like optometry, but a better alternative. There isn't the American Trader Joe's instead of Walmart. There isn't really an option for you to go, okay, this is sanctioned, it's approved by the government, I know what to expect, but it's not fast food. So right now, as it stands, these are your options, right? You're going to have to take a leap. You're going to have to learn things and understand things, and hopefully guys like me won't screw up your faith in sites like mine based on the video presentation. But let's see. This was the first one. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. I appreciate the feedback, and again, I hope you enjoy all the contents. Thanks.